I'm here to talk to you today about a knowledge management project called alphastudy. This presentation will introduce alphastudy, go through some of the basic knowledge management principles that underpin its development, and outline how this platform enables a new way of managing information within an organization. alphastudy is a knowledge management tool that allows individuals to easily create web content, manage and network knowledge within your organization. In this respect, it's a classic example of a Web 2.0 application. Its key differentiator is that it was conceived and developed locally with our training needs in mind. Knowledge management is the study of how information is generated and flows through an organization. It can in the first instance be generated through research, studies, reviews and audits. Knowledge translation defines how information leads to changes and improvements in practice. It can be translated through virtually any learning processes or incorporated directly into workflow processes. Knowledge can be stored in textbooks, service manuals, orientation booklets, or within the experience of others, and this is defined loosely as corporate memory or intellectual capital. Many corporations have taken up knowledge management principles to improve learning processes and staff performance. It has evolved into a formal field study at many institutions, and my proposition today is how we can use these lessons to benefit our department. The concept of organizational knowledge has various frameworks. One is the knowledge cycle. An example is shown above. A new problem is identified which stimulates a review or audit or formal research. This leads to formalized or explicit knowledge in the form of a guideline or a policy, and this is ideally translated into a measurable improvement in practice or outcomes, and finally gets ingrained into the culture or experience of an organization. From here, further problems are identified, which in turn leads to further audits, reviews and refinements of information. Another framework is the type of knowledge contained within an organization. Explicit information is that which is written, codified and easily transferred, for example clinical guidelines and policies. Tacit information are insights and pearls of wisdom or experience and culture. These things are difficult to articulate and transfer. It's also difficult to make sense of knowledge unless we have some underlying motivation to internalize it. This is what I term context. For some of us, the motivation to learn is simply to pass exams. For others, it's to become better clinicians or contribute to the advancement of an organization, or a combination of these things. The important thing is that context is not fixed for any individual at any given point in time. There are different styles of learning information, from didactic lectures to self-directed problem-based learning. And this is how knowledge is traditionally organized. There is a hierarchy or authority or expert in the field that defines or dictates what practice should be, and the audience or individuals learn from this information. Current knowledge management principles focus on audience participation and feedback and contribution to these centralized sites or authorities. And although such approaches have served us well, there are certainly limitations. Staff may not be available for regular teaching sessions due to shift work or rotations. Learning on the job or mentoring may be difficult in complex and busy and unsupervised environments. Staff can come and go, and stored knowledge gets lost with them or in time, especially tacit knowledge. Another limitation with traditional learning methods is that if the context is not right, then our motivation to learn and contribute to learning is diminished. So my central proposition today is to transform this into a decentralized model where individuals contribute their own expert information through their own workspaces and in turn determine what and when other sites of information held by other members are relevant to them at a particular point in time. The fundamental assumption is that everyone within an organisation has something to contribute to it, and that when the motivation is right, people will access and learn this knowledge from each other. This new paradigm allows individuals in an organisation to share knowledge, create and manage their own knowledge, and disseminate content within an organisation. Essentially, what I am proposing to you today is a new way of learning and a new way of teaching. By no means more important than other methods of teaching, but simply an alternative way that may be useful in knowledge-based and highly networked organisations. The other assumption with this model, of course, is that individuals are more likely to contribute if they are empowered with the right tools to do so and maintain some degree of autonomy over what they contribute and learn. Alphastudy fits neatly into this model by enabling exactly the pedagogical knowledge transfer being described. Each individual Alphastudy site enables users to organise their learning of processes and organisational knowledge and information onto a standard online format. What this means is that individuals can enter and share online study notes, presentations, collect, practice and share past exam questions, form study groups and discussion forums, and even do things like research surveys and data management. To evaluate the effectiveness of this new paradigm, we're going to attempt a collective knowledge project. Your mission is simply to create your own Alphastudy site, start adding things that you know a lot about in the form of a live document or an online quiz, presentations, and also to start a discussion thread or journal critique, and basically network this with each other. For some of you, content may include a certain subject such as cardiology, pediatrics, sepsis and critical care. For others, it may be a particular chapter summary from textbooks used for exam study, educational materials and handouts from presentations or conferences, niche subjects such as clinical handover, simulation or ultrasound, or simply a list of anecdotal cases in your years of practice that have some learning point. The aim is to build a collective knowledge bank that we can all access and benefit from in the years to come. We're going to evaluate this project in a 6 to 9 month pilot that measures online activity, usability, and will be presented hopefully next year. It will take a little investment of your time and thought to upload and enter your information. Some of you will like to enter it directly online, some of you will be cutting and pasting directly from Word documents or whatever. But the long-term benefits to your own learning and to the collective knowledge of your organisation are great. Most of all, I hope you enjoy using Alphastudy. Thank you.